Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. In this video I want to show you how to draft and make a cowl sleeve, and for this I'm going to be using my basic sleeve pattern. As you can see, I already have my allowance added to the sleeve pattern. I also have a video on my channel on how to draft a basic sleeve pattern, so if you want to draft a sleeve pattern but you don't know how, please go ahead and watch that video first. So a cowl sleeve is achieved by adding pleats to the cap sleeve area. In order to do this, what I'm going to do is to slash this pattern into different pieces. This can be gotten by just spreading out the cap sleeve area. It's going to give a different look. What you need to do is to completely separate each of the pattern to be able to create space for that pleat and that puffiness if you want it. So what I'm going to do, from this top part, I'm going to measure exactly 1 inch apart. After measuring the 1 inch, I'll go ahead and label it and separate all of the pieces. And please note that this is going to stop directly where the curve of this sleeve stops. That is the curve where the sleeve will fit into the armhole. So there are two ways to achieve this cowl sleeve, which I am going to show you. The first one is to simply spread out the pattern, to slash and spread the pattern. The second is to widen the center part of the sleeve, but I'm just going to take you guys through this process first, okay? So I have all of my lines already drawn out. As you can see, please watch what I'm doing on the screen. My voiceover will not be enough for you to understand this if you are not watching what I am doing. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out, and then I'll grab another piece of paper. Please keep another piece of paper close to you if you are following what I'm doing. So I'll grab another piece of paper and then I will spread out the pattern on it. As you can see, I've already labeled each of the pieces so I don't mix it up. So what I'm going to do is place this on another pattern paper. So the distance that you're going to use between each of the pattern paper depends on how big you want the pleats to be. I am going to be using a distance of 3 inches between each of the pattern, so the pleats is going to be 1.5 inch wide by the time I pleat it. I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. I really hope that you are getting what I'm trying to say. So you know, for a pleat, if you want to use 1 inch for a pleat, once you fold it, you're going to have half. If you use 2 inches as the wideness, once you fold it in, you're going to have 1 inch. So I want mine to be 1.5 inch wide after pleating. So I'm using 3 inch between each of the pattern. So I'm just going to use a marker to mark this 3 inch point and then place the next pattern paper on it like this. Okay, you can be taping this down on the go so it doesn't shift. I didn't do that here, so I had to eventually tape everything down. So after placing the other pattern, I went ahead to mark another 3 inch before placing the next pattern. So I'm just going to do this for all of the pattern piece. For the last piece of the sleeve, I will not be adding anything underneath, since that is the part that will be attached back to the other part of the sleeve that was not slashed. That is from the cap sleeve line downwards. So I decided to remove all of the pattern and draw a straight line before taping this down. So my reason for doing this is to make sure that the pattern is straight and all of the midpoints align. I should have drawn a line to show the midpoint of the cap sleeve area before slashing the pattern, but I did not remember to do that. So you can go ahead and draw a line through the midpoint of the sleeve pattern so that you can be sure that when you place this pattern on the lines, it's going to be aligned, okay? Because if the midpoints don't match and you have one going towards the left and the other towards the right, it will affect the way the sleeve will turn out. So just have to keep that in mind when you're making this pattern. So guys, I made an error when placing this pattern down, but it's not really something material that can affect the way the sleeve will turn out. So instead of starting from the top of the pattern paper, I started from the lines I drew, but it's still a 3-inch distance since I'm placing the pattern below the line instead of on top of the line. So it's still a 3-inch distance. I just had to add another 3-inch to the bottom part of the pattern paper to make up for it. The next thing to do is to trace out what I have. So I'm not adding anything to the sides. This is one of the methods that I'm showing you guys. You can decide to just trace out the sides. You just use a line to connect all of the points. So what this is going to give, the effect is going to give, is that the sleeve will still be pleated. You still get space for the pleats, but it will not be puffy. It is just going to stick to the shoulder like a normal sleeve, just that it's going to have pleats at the side. I'm going to try and insert a picture for you guys to see what I'm trying to explain, to see the kind of effect that this particular technique can give. So the second method is going to be like a continuation of this first pattern, of this first modification that I did to the basic sleeve pattern. What I'll do next is to cut this out, and after cutting it out, I will go ahead and attach this back to the bottom part of the sleeve pattern. And with that, the first method is complete. You just go ahead and cut on your fabric, pleat the sides, and attach it to your shirt, your blouse, your jumpsuit, or your dress, whatever it is you are doing this for. Okay, so please note that you can't gather this. It is not going to be a gather stitch you are going to use for this, unless if you want it to have like a different look. But if you want it to look like a cowl sleeve, you want it to have that effect, you have to pleat this. You are not going to use a gathers for this, so please keep that in mind. The reason why this is looking uneven when I'm pleating it is because it is a paper I'm working with. If I was working with the actual fabric, I would make sure that all of the points match, and then there won't be this step thing that you're seeing. So that's it for the first method. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what to do to make this more puffy around the shoulder area. Okay, so this is my pattern here. To get that puffiness, what I have to do is to open up the center part. So I'm going to draw a straight line through the midpoint of the sleeve to stop at the cap sleeve area, and then I'm going to open it up. But here's the thing, I can't just open up the pattern. If I try to open it up without creating another space for the sleeve to transfer the tension to, then it won't be possible to open up the sleeve. Let me show you guys what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to just open up this midpoint following the straight line that I have already drawn, and you can see that when I try to expand this paper, it's not working. So like, can you guess what I have to do to make this work? If you guessed correctly, just put in the comments I guessed it right. Okay, so in order to do this, in order to be able to properly spread this, I'll have to open up this side. You can see that now I'm able to widen the pattern. You can make this as wide as you want it to be. If you want the sleeve to still be pleated and just slightly loose around the shoulder, you would open it up just a little bit. But if you want it to be very puffy and you want it to drop very well, if you want it to drop, you cannot keep widening this pattern. You have to open it out a lot. So you can go ahead and just measure the distance you want, and this is like completely up to you. You can see that I did not separate the pattern. I just opened it up to reach the edge of the sleeve pattern. So this is it for the second technique. I'm going to go ahead and cut this out on my fabric, and also I'm going to show you guys the difference between the two. I illustrated it for you guys to see. So as usual, you have to pleat this. Also you will have to pleat this, and you can decide to add a paper to this, but I ended up just cutting this directly on my fabric. But if you don't want to cut directly on your fabric, you can first of all add another pattern paper underneath, okay, before you cut on your fabric. So this is me just showing you guys that that is an option. So as I was saying, you will have to pleat this as well. If you don't pleat the cap sleeve area, you will not get that cowl sleeve design. So it is compulsory that you pleat this, and you're not just going to pleat this anyhow. You would have to make sure that you measure what you're doing and the pleats on both sides are equal. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this on my fabric. This is the fabric I'm using to illustrate this for you guys to see. I measured the distance that I wanted between the sleeve before I pinned this to the fabric. So like I said, this is up to you. So I'm going to pin this down first, and after pinning it, I'll cut it out and show you guys how to pleat this. So guys, I have gone ahead to cut this out. One important thing you need to do before removing the pattern paper from the fabric is to notch all of these points. This is going to help you to get the perfect equal pleat for both sides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from this top part here and mark where the first pattern paper, the one I had to slash, stopped. Okay, I'll notch it, then I'll come to this other part, then I will notch the upper part of it and the lower part of it on the fabric, just like this. Okay, so with this I will be able to get the perfect pleat for my sleeve, and I'm also going to show you guys how to pleat this. So this is the part I will be notching last, which is where the armhole roundness stops. Okay, so that is where the pleat will start from. So now that I've notched this side, I'll go ahead and notch the other side and then remove the pattern paper from the fabric. This is what the pattern is looking like, and you can see all of the notched points. This is going to serve as a guide for the pleat. So I'm going to start with this first one, which stops directly where the curve of the sleeve stops. So you're going to grab this first one, okay, and then bring it to meet with the other notched points. Know that this one is the one that is a 3-inch distance, then you pin it. So the second one, the next one now, is a 1-inch distance. You are going to skip it and then move on to hold the end of it and bring it to the next one that is also 3 inches wide. Then you also pin this down. Please watch what I'm doing so that it will also help you understand better. So I will skip this other 1-inch part and move on to this upper part that is notched. Bring it to the other notched part that is also 3-inch wide. So basically, is like a pattern. The first one is 3 inch wide, the second one is 1 inch wide, the next one is 3 inch wide, the next one is 1 inch wide. So the one that is 3 inches wide, you pleat it, skip the one that is 1 inch wide, move on to place the one that is 3 inches wide, and then skip the one that is 1 inch wide. So that is the pattern you're going to follow. I'm also going to do the same thing for this other side. Skip the 1 inch, place the 3 inch, skip the 1 inch, place the 3 inch, and do this all the way to the end. Because I opened up this pattern, this upper part, this curved part, is going to have a little bit of excess compared to the other pattern, which I did not spread the center. I just opened up the cap sleeve area and added length to it to be able to pleat. So this upper part that is curved, I will have to either pleat it or gather it. This part is up to you, but I pleated my own from top to bottom, making sure that the pleats on both sides are equal. So for this side, you can use tiny pleats, or you can also make it as wide as the one you did for the sides. Just make sure that once you are done pleating it, it is equal to the roundness of the armhole you want to attach the sleeve to. So you can see that the pleat is looking the same on both sides. That's because I notched the both areas. I did not just pleat it anyhow. Like I said earlier in this video, the pleats have to be equal on both sides for this to work. After pleating the sleeve, you go ahead and join the sides and attach it to whatever it is that you are working with. So in a few minutes, I'm going to show you guys the difference between the one that I did not slash the center and the one that I slashed the center, which is this one. Okay, so for the one that the center wasn't slashed, you're also going to pleat it in the same way. Notch all of the points that you're going to pleat, and then just make sure you pleat equally on both sides. So I'm just using a pin to hold this down so that I can show you guys what it looks like, what it would look like after joining. Over here. So can you tell the difference between the one I didn't slash at the center and the one I slashed at the center? You can see that this one, if I even try to attach it to the sleeve, the shoulder area will become too tight, but this one have more space to drop, right? So can you guys see, without slashing, with slashing, the difference between the both of them? So that's it for this tutorial. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe for more videos like this. I have a video on how to draft a mutton sleeve as well, and in this video I'm showing you guys the difference between the two. This one over here is a mutton sleeve, and this is the cowl sleeve over here. So you can see that there's a slight difference between a cowl sleeve and a mutton sleeve. If you're curious on the difference between the two and also on how to draft the both of them, please go ahead and check out the other video, which will be linked in the description box. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.